reasons anyway. Not that there's a good reason to go to war, really.
Yes.
Unless say somebody steals your stuff, then you.
Yes.
Anyway, but that's my fact that you guessed was perfectly accurate. I need to start lying to you, right?
Yes.
I need to start.
Right. Sniff it, man. I can read your face. I can't. But it's a good TV show about a guy who, I think it's called Lie to Me. I don't know, but it looked very good.
Brilliant.
So we're moving on in history. We're moving on. So I started with the Old Testament, then went Alexander. Are we hopping straight forward into Magersfontein?
Oh wow. Okay. So we're in a South
Battle
African.
of Magersfontein. It was actually the second Anglo-Boer War.
Second South African War, I think you'll find it's called now.
Really?
It is indeed. Yeah, it's been renamed.
Can't be quiet. What's wrong?
Because it wasn't just between Angles and Boers. There were local people on both sides of the war.
Indeed.
So it's
Magersfontein has an interesting little monument about that very fact.
Yeah. So it was a racist name to call it Anglo-Boer War. It wasn't. It's now called the First South African War and the Second South African War.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, my fact is that that battle certainly would have been declared a victory for the Boer side. And the reason was for their strategic position on the Koppie, on the one end of the battlefield at Magersfontein, on top of the Koppie.
That's your fact.
Yeah.
The fact is just this is their tactic.
Yes, they were on top of the Koppie, and that's why they won.
And then there were British Oaks trying to climb up the Koppie, and they were just getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably it. Like if you're gonna win a battle, a good way to win a battle is to take the high ground, right? Because then the other guy has to climb like a moron up the hill towards you, and it's really hard. Like, have you ever? I mean, as a person,
I went on the lecture in Standard 8 and we were on top of the Koppie.
Oh, so you're giving it away. It's in fact
Well,
true.
the lecture's on top of the Koppie.
Okay.
And then the map is there. And then by the end of it, you walk down and you walk a little bit on the battlefield.
But I think the thing is people underestimate how hard it is to walk up a hill. Particularly when you're in battle and you're running and whatever. Like they say, the greatest tactic that humans ever developed in war was to dig trenches. Like it's just a thing. It's like if you're going to face a force tomorrow, what you do is you spend the night digging trenches, because then they have to run through the trenches. They fall in the trenches. You'll find that all the castles have got these big kind of divots in front of them, and it's because running down a divot and then running up a hill is much harder than running over a piece of flat land. And as soon as you have to charge up a hill to a well-entrenched person sitting behind a big rock with his musket, life's not good for you anymore. Like that's not a pleasant place to be. It's not a pleasant. Look, I don't run up a hill now for anyone. Someone's at the top shooting at me. Now you want me to run up? It's not happening. So I'm going to say that's the reason the Boers won. I think you're finally telling the truth this episode, and
You've just witnessed something very strange. Very strange, because a number of strange things have just happened. Firstly, I was lying.
No!
Secondly, you thought I was telling the truth, but the strangest part of all is you gave the actual answer in your
that it's just terrible to run up a hill.
secondary talking. No, the reason they won Magersfontein is because they dug a trench.
They dug a trench.
Yes, in front of the hill.
Yeah.
And
well, the hill's good.
Did you know there was a trench at Magersfontein?
No, I didn't know that. But what I'm saying is, I think the trench, the hill, it's all part of the standard defensive.
I think the Boers would have got smoked by the sheer numerical advantage of the Brits
if they hadn't dug a trench.
Yeah,
you think so?
So they started their advance with the poor Highlanders. They always send in the Scots first. They've always done that shit. So they started at midnight and they walked close to each other. But it's quite bushy and outcroppy rocky.
Okay.
It was a shitty little and the kilts, and it must have been terribly sore. And so by the time sunrise came, they were less than 100 meters from the trench. And I say, boom! And they just
they timed this walk a little badly as well.
Yeah, and they did knock over it. There was a tripwire alarm switch. I don't know if it went to ADT or to tracker, but they tripped a wire and they ding-a-ling. I don't know what happened, but I say, and so the trench did it. at Marcus in front
Oh,
of
so the guys
cookie.
were actually in the trench.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so no. So it's not a situation of they just dug a trench for
No,
guys
no,
to
no,
run
no, no,
through.
no.
It through. There was
Waiting.
oaks. There were oaks in the
Oh,
trench
waiting.
at the bottom.
Yes.
And I suppose the British assumed that that
That's
the
exactly
Afrikaans
what
person would
happened.
be at the top of the hill.
Didn't
and
even
then,
know about the trenches.
I didn't know about the trenches at all. And then I mean, it makes
They
sense
didn't,
because
the
then
British
they could
didn't, no.
retreat up the hill, and
Yeah.
the English would have to follow them up the hill. So now they've not only had to try and conquer a trench, they've then had to try and run up a hill. And they probably did it in their red outfits,
Yeah.
standing out like sore thumbs in the South African bush.
Yeah, before they switched to khaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's truly tragic, is what it is. It's really very sad. I mean,
So,
not for the
Boom.
Boers.
No,
For the
yeah,
Boers,
that's
that must have been pretty much exactly what they were hoping for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and Sean, there was a regiment that, or a squadron, or a bunch of oaks, 20 oaks.
Oh, 20
call it what
oaks?
you like. And
Having a dorp and a braai.
they were caught in
Oh, no.
between the trenches and the mountain, and they were easily taken out by the British. And they were all foreigners. They were all the monument is for the Scandinavian regiment.
Ah, and they couldn't understand the words.
Ja,
Hardloop! Hardloop!
Was is dat?
Yeah. What is he saying? I don't understand.
So there's a Scandinavian monument. When I saw that on the Wikipedia, and I was wondering if Scandinavian, wonder if they fought for the British or the Boers.
It's very strange that. I mean, why would you, as a Scandinavian person living a comfortable life in Scandinavia with your, your safety net and your paid for university and hospital care, choose to venture to the other side of the world to fight against the English?
to the arse end of Africa.
Yeah, it's not like, Sweden
they were
and
probably there
England.
for the diamonds. They were like, let's try to make some money from the
You think
diamonds.
they were perhaps.
They want to take your diamonds. Oh, no ways. Who's these oaks? Oh, it's just the
Yeah,
British
fair enough,
Empire.
fair enough.
Nah, fuck the British Empire.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
they're quite. There's a lot of them, isn't there?
It's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot of them, isn't there?
Quite a lot of these guys. They're coming here. Snorri, get out your sword. We are not. Okay, good.
Oh,
That's my Swedish accent. If any casting agents are watching.
It was quite Boratish, but
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because he was Uzbekistani or Kazakhstani.
Oh yeah.
I just realized, and I apologize for it, but I've lied to you 3 times in a row now.
I know you're disgusting.
sorry about
You're
that.
disgusting.